Okay, the United States has increased its production. I know we've gotten to a point where we actually now are a net exporter of finished products. How much do you see this increase being able to prevent some of the potential for an oil crisis such as we saw back in the 1970s?
Sure. So I think that actually what's going to happen is the worldwide demand growth is going to increase about 1.5 million barrels a day.
Mhm.
And I think in 2018, and I think the U.S. production is actually going to increase by a fairly similar amount. So I really think the surging U.S. oil production is really kind of a swap for the increased world demand growth. And I think all these other uh, geopolitical risks that I mentioned before the break are really potentially a catalyst for oil to spike, much higher than where it is now.
So can we as a country get to the point where we have the right trade balance with oil in total, where we're exporting more than we're importing, or at bare minimum more self-sufficient?
Sure. Well, I think that we're very much headed there. Oil exports have been reaching and approaching 2 million barrels a day. So
Hmm.
from a standing start of zero 2.5 years ago, it's really quite impressive that we've been able to do that. I think that for us to export more than 3 million barrels a day, I think there's going to have to be a lot more infrastructure. I think we're running out of takeaway capacity, so pipelines in West Texas, and I think that we need more port facilities for the offtake in the kind of Texas, Louisiana, Gulf Coast area to boost the production above 3 million barrels a day. But I think that, I've always thought energy independence is a bit of a misnomer. I think we need to be able to trade certain grades of crude with Canada, certain grades of crude with Mexico. But, our refineries are hungry and we want to operate the refineries at 100% capacity. So I think that we will always be importing some of the heavier stuff from Mexico, and I think they'll be taking some of our lighter crude. And I think that you'll see some swaps around the Canadian border, and I think that just makes sense. But the surging U.S. production really does limit our kind of national security risk a lot from where it was like in the 1970s, for instance.